Today on A Commonly Good MTG, we're playing a mono green Stompy surprise deck with some combos worked into it as well. There's a certain amount of majestic wonderness put into this deck, and I was surprised at how good it works. If that sounds interesting to you, then stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I'm your host, the 7 times grand champion of my bathroom cell phone solitaire league, Dr. Yukon Socket. Yes, thank you. Filmed before a live studio audience. Thank you so much, Yukon Socket. Word to your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you a deck I found over on Magic GG off their traditional standard ranked Platinum Mythic list. So all this decks on here are decks that have done very well in Platinum Mythic, and so it's a good place to find new and interesting decks that are going to be very, very competitive. So today's is a mono green one. That's all I knew about it. Yep, mono green. And I start off by just calling it Stompy because, lo and behold, it has Ghalta in it. Yeah, and a bunch of big old trampoline Stompy guys. Then after I played it, I realized that, yeah, Smuggler's Surprise was the big super card for it, and so it's Stompy's Surprise. There's a bit of comboing in here, too, that works out pretty well. We'll talk about it during the deck breakdown. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the cards that are in this deck, a little bit how the deck works, and they'll go out and we'll crush some hopes and dreams. All right, what do we got here today? We got go get a permanent from milled cards, gain 2 life. Usually I use this to go look for a land. This is the surprise. Keep it so that you can pay to put 2 creatures from your hand into the battlefield for 6 mana because your guys are really expensive. And getting 2 out at the same time is fantastic. This, whenever you cast a spell with a mana value of 5 or greater, you draw cards. This is your card draw engine. This one does 3 different things. A Swiss Army knife. You can go look for a creature or land card. If it's a land card, you put it tapped into the battlefield. Otherwise, you put the creature into your hand. Or you can put a Popo counter on a target creature controlled and then deals damage equal to its power to another creature. Or you can exile target artifact or enchantment. Those are all great things. Hulking Raptor, because he comes out and he gives you 2 extra mana, which helps balloon you into being able to pay for pretty much everything over here, because it means you can play for 6 mana, obviously, once you get him out. These things are all 5s. Some of these are 6s, and then we get into like 7s and more than that. But still, there's a lot you can get with 6. So this guy costs 5s, makes other stuff cost cheaper because you could pay life to put him out instead. This guy, when you do combat damage, when it deals combat damage, you may reveal that many cards, and you can put a creature card from amongst them into the battlefield. And so therefore he lets you get guys out for cheaper. This guy gives you a free land and then every time you attack with it or put it into the battlefield. And you can put it out for 3 if you just want to let it sit there on the sidelines for like 4 extra turns. So this guy's a Swiss Army knife of stuff, destroy target artifact or enchantment whenever you play a creature spell, or look for lands, or gain 4 life. So that's fantastic. This guy says that all other creatures you have got trample. That's where trample comes from. Whenever another non-token creature you control enters, you put a Popo counter on it, and it gets haste. So this gives them a +1/+1 haste and trample. Gruff Triplets comes out, puts itself out, and then puts out 2 identical twins of it. Whenever one of them dies, you put Popo counters on the other 2 equal to the amount of the power of the one that dies. So as long as they're not all dying at the same time, you get a pretty powerful guys out of the deal. This guy, if he dies, he comes back as a copy of himself. And every time they enter the battlefield, you get 4 life or 3 life, and you draw a card. And then also if other things that are big come out, you gain 4 life. So he's great. Tyrranax Rex is a monster. He comes out with ward and haste and trample and toxic 4 and can't be countered. Nissa, when you put her out for a full 7, you can then immediately give all your creatures +1/+1 for each forest you control and trample. So hopefully you guys have haste already ready to raring to go, because that's how you win a game right there. With this one, you put it out whenever one of your creatures dies. You get a fungus or a dinosaur, a fungus dinosaur, aka a fungusaur, with power, base, and toughness equal to the total power of the creature that died. And then for 2 mana, you could double a target creature's power till the end of turn. That's nothing but pure gasoline there. And Ghalta says that whenever it enters the battlefield, you put in a number of creatures from your hand into the battlefield. All right, so what we got as far as how we're going to play this is we just got to get out as much mana as we can until we finally get to our creatures. Hopefully we have a few in our hand, which would include Ghalta and Surrak. We'll talk out why. We use Smuggler Surprise to pop those 2 dudes out. What that does is that you get this guy out, which gives all your creatures trample and a popo counter and haste to anything that comes out when it's out in play. We get out Ghalta, and so then Ghalta gets a popo counter and trample and haste. So he's already got trample, so he had double trample. But then Ghalta says, yeah, go get everything else in your hand, throw them in. If you had a Gruff Triplet, that'd be fantastic, because then it comes out, makes out 2 copies of itself. So then you'd have 3 Gruff Triplets with double trample. They'd be 4/4s and have haste. And so even though Surrak sits there not being able to do anything, you'd be able to attack with 13 plus 12 trample hasty guys. And that's just that particular combination. So you got, as long as you got those 2 and some 1 or 2 others, you're able to just go crazy. If that doesn't kill somebody straight out, you get your Nissa out, at which point you give them all popo for each force you control, which is probably 1 billion. And they all got trample and they can swing in. So, man, once you get to where you need to be at, 2 turns, they're dead. They just got to outrace you at the end. Unfortunately, it takes a while to get there. But we'll see what happens. All right, so before we go out and do our damage, let's do as we do every night. Let's say our prayers and talk about what is best in life. Hands together. Dear Black Queen Sheoldred, who dwells within the dark chambers of my heart, please hear my prayers and grant your blessings as we attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and to hear lamentations of the women. All right, we're playing against Pandazman. Pandazman. Keep. Nope. We'll shake our bushy tail, though. Wishing everybody a fine hello. All right, 3 for the Overlord. Lored. Nice to go get myself one of the Smuggler Surprise cards. That'd be really great. All right, we got that thing shot. I had enough, I guess, to put out the Defiler. I just wanted to keep that thing nipped. 3, 4, 5. We'll have 6. Let's go for double up. Unfortunately, I'm getting out Ghalta with nothing else, and they're both all completely non-hasty. That was it, man. Good for you. I don't care who you want to kill. I'm sure it'll be Ghalta. He's down to 7. I'll chill out on the land. There, we got 2 guys. It's lethal enough. Stomp, stomp, patooey chomp. Make a choice there, Panda. Don't make you touch your round cactus or play with your sand waterfall. Look out, it's a scorpion. It's coming right at you. Another one, all right. That's it, man. You were out of mana. See, now you got to block, you have to block the Overlord of the Hauntwoods. What are you giving up? Lands? Ah, you get yourself some life. Good for you. Yoink. And winner, winner, chicken dinner. There we win. Victory! We are playing against Abraham. 2 mana. I'll try to make it work. Alright, single one. For having such expensive cards, this deck does a good job with getting the mana, apparently. Two! And we go up the Beanstalk. Let's go get ourselves some more land if we can help it. All right, 4. If we get ourselves to 6, we could do a really nice surprise. Except I only have 2 creatures right now, including Ghalta. I thought I had a lot more. That was not the case. There's 5, so let's just get out this guy. Alright, we can definitely get out Ghalta next turn with the Vaultborn Tyrant. That's nice. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 we need for a full Nissa. Okay, I'm at 3 life. That is not great. I didn't get life for that. That's cool. Ooh, we can bring the Hulking Raptor. Great. Thank you. Oh, that worked nicely. And more life off the deal. Perfect. That's a recovery, baby. And we have enough to put on Nissa on the next turn. If our guys survive long enough. We can give them, what, +6 and +7 with the extra stuff. Each and trample. Ghalta's gone. We just gotta walk this one carefully. I mean, technically I have to let him in. I can't block. That guy will still live. Oh, except he'll exile it if he does it again. I'm sure he's got it. Ooh. Dang it. All right, we lost it. All of our poor men. We need Nissa. Hopefully he doesn't pick it. Lost it. All right, everything just went to hell. That is not a good one for us to grab. We've got tons of mana though, so let's just waste some of it. What else do we get here? Silverback. I just got 2 cards. I got one guy to block with. I'm thinking we could keep through it. It should be fine. Get a nice Fungusaur out of the deal. Just depends how aggressive this guy wants to go. He's got me all crazy right now. All right, just had that one, and he's turning this guy on. I can't block that. All right, Fungusaur. Nice. And we win! And we win! Suck it, suckerfish. All right, we're playing against Dr. Del Sol. Let's go get Cheap Boy. This guy's 5. I guess the other one's only 6, but you never know. All right, now's the time we do want to grab a lot of lands, so that's great. Do I want to get some more lands, potentially? Turn 4. Nah, I just want to keep what I got. I need to get to 6 is the problem. We could just waste the Nissa. He's trying to play that combo on me. All right, there's 5. Let's Silverback it. There's land we need for 6. All right, so that's our next turn. We're going to get out Ghalta and Surrak. And then that means the Silverback Elder. And then he'll wipe the board. And then I'll just be upset about the whole situation. There you go. I haven't fed you in a while. Have your Energon Cube. All right, here's the combo. Let's combo up, baby. All right. Did we win? No math! If it's going to work, it's going to work right here. Otherwise, he's going to wipe the board. We got trample across the board. We got 20 31 points. And you can defend against 6, 7, 8. So no, I win. Win. Boom, boom, goes the room. Victory. All right, we're playing against Aleran. Keep. All right, so definitely we get to 3, which means we can get to this guy, which means that we can get to this guy, which then sets us up for everything else of the things we currently have in our hand. What does this guy even do? Just lifelink at the moment. He doesn't have anything in his graveyard, so he's not delirious at all. So we got 4. Nice. That's an artifact. All right, so I'll have to sacrifice. I'll have to chump out the raptor for this guy. All right, or not. I just let it die. Well, that raptor's ward ability was keeping it alive. I don't think I'm going to make it. This was supposed to be a turn I dropped the Nissa and come in for the super kill. Not even close to it. I guess I could have just attacked or done the destruction on it. Same thing though. And I got a Popo counter out of it. The problem is that I'd have to block everybody, and I'm not getting it. I can only block 2 guys. All I have to do is just slip one guy past, and he's got it already. Let's just slaughter, like slaughters. Well, that was cool. All right, we're playing against Dust 103. Dust 103. All right, so we got Beanstalk. Let's shut things up. All right, cool. This guy's number 3. Got to ramp that ramp. All right, so we've got 4. We'll have 5 next turn. Still, that's not 6. I'll leave it. That means we got more dudes we can drop next turn when we get Ghalta out there. It'd be great we pull a bunch with the Up the Beanstalk and Ghalta pulls them all out. We'll probably just pull a bunch of lands, but we gotta do what we gotta do, right? At least he's out of mana. He's not going to be getting in our way. I think this will give me some hasty guys too. There we go. That's 20 points of damage. Trample. Nice. All right, so next turn we got Nissa. He needs to board wipe now if he wants to survive. And he just ossified. You can only pull that trick one more time. He's got life gain. Lots of it. There's a second trick. Dang it! How did this happen? He just had 2 ossifications. That was the real problem. And we're playing against Leonardo Baltieri of the East Coast Baltieris. All right, 2 mana. Yeah, hopefully we can pick up a third. Mana's more important right now. That's a lot of mana. Is this all we're gonna be doing? What do I have in here that's cheap? Creature-wise, Hulking Raptor. Roots. Okay, there's my surprise. Need to get the 6 for that. Let's play this. What do I got there? 3. I got to go for the cheap guys. We're making me choices here. I'm going to pick the Hulking Raptor. Just because I know I can do that. I don't want to wait more turns. All right, he's got ward. Shoot it. All right, so what I got there? 5, 6, 7, Once I get this guy back in my hand. I don't know, let's beanstalk it, I guess. I need 2 to keep my guy alive. Let's just leave that going. Just in case we have to do some protection. Alright, he's just going to chump. He wants that guy in the graveyard anyway. I don't even have to use a surprise to get out the Tyrant, I think. What I really don't need is another Up the Beanstalk. We're good. Indestructible. All right, 6, 7, 8. So I can go full 6 and 7 to give it all what I want, but I can just put this out. I'm just going to put it out as is. I'm really hoping my surprise would be more creatures. That's not happening. All right, whatever. We'll wipe out your dude. That's fine. We'll trade off. Exile. Great. That's when I exactly don't have the mana to protect it. Fantastic. We're looking at my stuff, man. Ooh, Gruff Triplets. That's good. Unfortunately, I don't get haste. I'm looking forward to a little bum rush action here, but these guys are going to be slow. Let's put out just another little baby right now. And we keep 2 of those guys protected. Unfortunately, I have a 0 reach at the moment. Next turn, I can go give him Super Trample. That's a lot. Except for I think I have to. I don't want to touch Nissa. I don't want him to know that's what I'm thinking. That's fine. I'm good with that. Those guys drawing cards like crazy. He's down to one. He still has 1 mana. Oh, super. So he needs 7 to make that guy big. Can't do anything about it. None of these are artifacts, huh? Nope, that's not going to happen. All right, let's just slam in with what we got. All right, there's our surprise. Surprise, everybody! I need to have one of those guys killed. That is for the best. Got another baby. All right, we're good. We still got another to keep the 6/6 alive if we need to. Gotta let Nissa go, unfortunately. I have no protection for her. I do have protection for every single one of the guys I got out here. He's trying to get in there while he can. He had to waste 2 of his cards. Good for us. Yeah, I'll take a Vaultborn. I get 2 of them, huh? All right, sounds good. You're stealing guys. That's not cool, man. Unfortunately, I used last of my surprises. You're a lot out of mana. That's the big thing. All right, come on, deck. He doesn't have the mana to keep his guys alive. I don't need more lands. Let's just destroy some stuff. Well, that was cool. right, there we go. We just got our Tyrant out. What's this guy down to? 14? We gonna mill him? I think it's a strong, strong possibility. Down to 8. Okay, here goes one of my guys. He's still got a lot of mana left. We got to sit here through that. What do I have? 26? Yeah, if I would have left the up to the beanstalk there, potentially he would have killed himself much quicker. So me getting rid of his card draw at this point was probably a bad idea. Where are his roots? That's the question. Let's just gain life. That's fine. Drew some cards. A little Ghalta would be great. All right, so I've got 6, which is enough for this guy. Everybody got trample. Nicely done. All right, there was no good reason for that. I guess I gained more life. I'm up to 43. What's he down to at this point? 4? We had to slow things down. He's down to 2 at this point. As he killed himself. Is he going to commit or is he just going to roll over? He's just going to roll over, all right. And we win! Sucker, sucker, fish! Alright, so we are with, let's call it Stompy Surprise. And this deck was incredibly good. It was really, really, really good. Why was it good? Because of its consistent mana. I mean, sure, I was putting out 1 per turn. You know, that's what it felt like. I had a little bit of ramp. But where would it come from? Archdruid's Charm and from the Overlord of the Hauntwoods. That was about it. Everything else would just make it so that I can go get a land. But still, I was slow in how I could put that land out. But between 25 land and the little bit of go get ramp or go get land when you can, I was consistent on getting to it. And so I could get to 6 mana by turn 5 pretty consistently. And luckily, somehow, Ghalta, where's Ghalta at? 2 of them, I was getting Ghalta by that time as well. So that was great somehow. I don't know how, because getting out that combo of Ghalta and the Surrak and Goreclaw Oh, that was great. Especially if other guys my stuff, because that's the deal. You get those two out, and then you put down other dudes, and then it gives all those guys haste and what was it? +1/+1. And they all had the like trample and stuff. Where would they get the trample from? I don't know. They were getting it from nowhere. Apparently just the guys that were getting had trample into themselves. So we got lots of great guys. It was about getting them out early and slamming them all out majestically. And this deck did a great, great job of that. All right, so let's go through the rundown of this deck. Who was the MVP? Who's the most valuable player? And it was Smuggler's Surprise. That was the card that was the biggest player, just because it allowed us to get out two guys and combo them for 6 mana. Because like I said, Ghalta and Surrak and Goreclaw, that was the best combo in my opinion. Gruff Triplets, who's usually one of my favorite cards, people were they just know how to kill this thing. You just wipe them all out at once. You exile them. You know, it's just everybody was having answers for Gruff Triplets tonight. Vaultborn Tyrant also getting wiped out. People know it. But yeah, Surrak and Goreclaw and Ghalta, if done properly, much like the crane technique, there is no defense. All right, so MVP, Smuggler Surprise, congratulations. You're going to Disneyland. All right, was this deck competitive? Well, let's see, I got 67%. That is a very, very good deck. I picked this up off the Platinum Mythic list, so I'm going to say yes, it is a competitive deck. All right, so let's see, was this deck fun? Yes. Yeah, the thing is, if you look at it, this is not an aggro deck. This is definitely a mid-range deck. Focused a little bit on ramp, but even for ramp, it was slow for ramp. So I was pretty terrified of aggro. That was a problem. I really couldn't do anything. There were 0 creatures to play until you got to turn 4. Was I even going to be able to get like an extra mana out before I got to turn 4? Just barely. So really, you couldn't get any creatures out to turn 4. Mono aggro red would have me way dead by then. This thing, there's nothing in here to give me extra life, nothing like that. Pretty much it was just, please don't put me up against aggro. So as long as you're playing against other decks, yeah, you weren't doing too bad. I can tell you, I was taking out discard decks like crazy. They kept coming at me, but I could do it. It wasn't a problem. What did I have the biggest problem with? It was like Azorius that was playing with exile removal cards. Those were my biggest problem for some reason. This deck puts things out slow, like one at a time, and having those things eliminated one at a time was a problem. You think that like mono black decks would also take it out, but for some reason I didn't have any problem with mono black decks. Even decks like Golgari and Rakdos, no problem. It's because they usually are focused on trying to do other stuff. But yeah, counterspell decks, they have a lot of it, just control, and that was kind of a problem with it that I saw. I didn't go up against very much aggro, so I imagine it'd be a problem, but I never saw it. All right, so was it fun? Yeah, most of the time it was. It was great when you started getting up to the top end. You could start laying your dudes out finally, but like these guys come out at 3, and even then you had to wait 5 or 4 turns to be able to actually get there and use them. Defiler of Vigor comes out at 5, who can help you get your other guys out cheaper. Sure, but still, I'm waiting until turn 5, turn 6 before I'm playing this stuff. This is definitely a mid-range deck, and it really requires not being in aggro fights. I could see not liking this deck, but man, I thought it was fun. I thought it was good. All right, so was this deck interesting? Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I mean, I played like a Stompy deck. I played one Surprise. This one felt different, and it was probably because we were trying to combo up with the Surprise as well. So not only were we putting out Ghalta, but we're also putting out Ghalta with Surrak and Goreclaw. And then we'd had Nissa in here so that we could get that extra super chunk in there on a second turn in case we didn't finish them off on the time we did it. We only needed 1 or 2 guys out with a Nissa because we had so many lands that we could get that super trample going on and pretty much finishing up the game. So it felt like there was a lot of good combos in this deck that allowed us to do a lot more than we normally did inside of a Stompy Surprise deck. All right, so there we go. Let's go ahead and add that up. Was this deck competitive? Yes. Was it fun? I'm not going to give it top marks for fun, but I'm going to say it had a lot of potential for a lot of good times. And lastly, was it interesting? I'm going to say yes. I appreciated the extra combos and the extra thought that was put into this mono green Surprise Stompy deck. All right, so what does that give us? That gives us a straight A deck. And If you decide to play with this deck, I hope that you have as much fun with it as I did. That is all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, shine on, you crazy diamonds. Later.